I think it might be that this movie is too close to the musical, because I can kind of see, like Jonathan, you mentioned this kind of earlier, that in a musical you have certain limitations for how many locations and how many characters and how much detail and how much time and so on. But a movie doesn't have any of those limitations. And so if you don't lean into the strengths of your medium, then you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. And I think this, like, the point of a movie adaptation is to tell the same story, but leaning into the strength of movies, as opposed to whatever medium it came from, in this case, a musical or a book or whatever, right? And I don't think it does that. I think it's so faithful to the original, based on everything I've seen, that it neglects to tell the story slightly differently. Or like in a movie, you have backgrounds, and you can afford much more detail, for instance, right? You can have more characters, you can have bigger locations, you can have more locations, and so on. And it feels like this movie simply doesn't take advantage of that. And I think a lot of the flaws that we've talked about come from that musical limitation, where things have to be very exaggerated and you are very limited, right? And I think if it had taken more liberties, it would have been a better version of the same story, I think.
More enjoyable than I thought it would be. But I actually probably have to agree with Daniel. Like, it's maybe too faithful of an adaptation, and maybe, you know, with adaptation, you're kind of like adapting it to a different sort of like media format. And this one failed to properly, you know, maximize the sort of cinema format for its musical adaptation, sort of compared to it being on theatre and Broadway.